Good morning. I hope you're having a great week. I just got back from the Gulf Coast. I'd love to say it was a vacation, but it was more work than a vacation. We ate well, but never got on the beach. I guess that shows how old I'm getting. But we did see the ocean. It was beautiful. When I think about vacations, though, I think about going to the mountains of North Georgia. When I was a young child, that's where we went at least once, most of the time twice every summer. Grew up there. From the time I was about 10 years old until now, actually, that cabin's still there. We stayed in a cabin that was fed by a spring that was up on the side of the mountain. That spring gave us the best tasting water I had ever tasted before in my life. It was cold, it was clean, it was beautiful water. It was supplied by a long black plastic pipe that came all the way down the side of the mountain. So we had no reservoir up at the top where the spring was, really, because that almost a half-mile pipe gave us a great reservoir. It gave us great water pressure because of the fall from the side of the mountain there. It's just a great situation. But you know, we hit a dry season a couple years ago, and that spring dried up, and we had to drill a well to support that cabin. A lot of other cabins had been built around there at that time, and people said, well, you know, everybody's into the water table and all this, and springs are getting weak and all that. But the rains came back, that spring came back to life, and it was still the same good water. Well, we built another house for my cousin who has MS, and that house, they required us to drill a well to support that house, and we did, but as soon as we got into that house, we changed it over, and it's supplied by that same spring. It's given us good water still to this day, now supporting 2 cabins. If it ever grows dry, we have the wells to back it up. It's a good situation. But when we start thinking about water and how thirsty we get, it's just nice to think of clean, crisp mountain spring water. Water is great, and we need it. This reminds me of a story where Jesus was talking to a Samaritan woman at the well. And I'd like to read that to you today from John chapter 4, beginning in verse 7. And I'm only going to read about half of this because it's a long reading. It starts in verse 7 and says, when a Samaritan woman came down to draw water, Jesus said to her, will you give me a drink? His disciples had gone into town to buy food. The Samaritan woman said to him, you are a Jew, and I am a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink? For the Jews do not associate with the Samaritans. Jesus answered her, if you knew the gift of God and who it is that asks you for a drink, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water. Sir, the woman said, you have nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. Where can you get this living water? Are you greater than our father Jacob, who gave us this well and drank from it himself, as did his sons and his flocks and herds? Jesus answered, everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks the water I give him will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give him will become in him like a spring of water welling up to eternal life. Be safe. Stay well out there.